is integrated nutrient management and improved propagation for citrus and mango for sustainable productivity by Dr. O. You have 10 minutes. At 7 minutes, there will be a slide to tell you to round up. Every question will be taken after all the presentations. Please write down your question. Then after all the presentation, we have 10 minutes to ask for questions and answer.
Good afternoon. Standing on the existing protocol, I'll be presenting for Project 1 on the title Integrated Nutrient Management for Citrus and Mango for Sustainable Productivity. Listed below are the members, the team members of the project. This project started in the second quarter of 2022. We were serving on the team. Unfortunately, we are now short of 2 of the members. The motive for the project for citrus and mango. Nigeria is ranked 9th in the world. But the average yield for both crops is 40 tons per hectare. But for Nigeria, it's 25 tons per hectare. So we asked the question, why are we far below the world standard? A major contributory factor to this is poor soil fertility. And that was what the project set out to address. These are the objectives we set out to achieve within the project. Baseline assessment of integrated nutrient management, documentations in citrus and mango producing states of Nigeria. We've already achieved this objective. And the second, to determine appropriate nutrient requirement for citrus and mango at every stage of development. The developmental stages were the pre-nursery, the nursery, and the field. To develop appropriate RNN packages for citrus and mango production. And the third, to build capacity of citrus and mango farmers on RNN packages in the selected states. We've achieved the first objective. We are on the second and the third. So these 3 listed, we are yet to start them. And the second to the last is to evaluate farmers' adoption of the packages that we come out with. And lastly, but not the least, to evaluate the impact of the RNN packages on productivity of citrus and mango. This is the first activity. And the objective of the title is determination of nutrient requirement for juvenile citrus orchard. The objectives were to determine the effect of nutrient sources and types on growth of citrus at juvenile stage. The nutrient sources refer to the type of fertilizer we use. We use foliar, which is liquid, mineral, then organic, on growth of citrus at juvenile stage. Then to determine the appropriate rates of fertilizer on the growth of citrus at the same stage. This is the methods we used in achieving our objective. The border sweet citrus seedlings were transplanted in September 2023 at a spacing of 5 by 7 meters. And the experimental design was CRBD that was replicated 3 times. In a treatment, we had 3 plants per treatment. And these are our treatments. The 3 sources of the fertilizer, liquid, the organic, and the mineral. We use single nutrient mineral fertilizers. Listed here, the urea, SSP, MOP. Urea is 46% N, SXP 18, average of 18, and MOP 50% K. 5 rates for each of the treatments were used, including the control, at 3 and 26 weeks after transplanting. For the liquid, which was applied foliarly, the application rates were 0, 0.5, 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0 ml per plant. The organic was by side dressing at 0, 12.5, 25.0, 50.0, and 100 grams per plant. For the mineral fertilizer application, as I said earlier, we use urea, SSP, and MOP at a ratio of 2 to 1 to 1. This is because at the juvenile stage, what the plant needed most is nitrogen. And these are the rates, gram per plant. And these are the parameters taken at monthly intervals: the height, number of leaves, stem diameter, and the number of branches. We've collected data for more than a year now, and we're analyzing the data. So we have no outputs yet. This is the second activity. Baseline assessment of soil nutrient status of selected mango farms in southwestern Nigeria. And this is the sole objective: to determine the soil nutrient status of selected mango farms in southwestern Nigeria. And these are the methodology. The states, the local government, and the farmers were selected through a multi-stage sampling technique, purposive for selecting the Southwest, random for the states, purposive for the local government, and random selection of farmers. So the source collected were processed, analyzed for pH, organic carbon, nitrogen, total nitrogen, available phosphorus, exchangeable potassium, and the particle size analysis. Results and discussion. These are the locations where the soil samples were collected from. We have 8 farmers from Oyo State, 3 from Ondo, and 1 from Osun. This is the result of the particle size and the chemical. So looking at the pH of all the farms are within the range recommended for arable crops. That is from 5.5 to 7. The organic carbon, the range of all the farms too were okay, and the total nitrogen, except for farm 2 and 3. But the phosphorus, that's where the problem is. Looking at farm 4, we have 58.5. That is very high. Looking at 1, you can say it's medium. But for the remaining 10, they were very low. So that means there's a problem. And we know the importance of citrus in the soil. It is important for the root, fruit, and the seed formation. So now that the phosphorus is not adequate, that is deficient, definitely it will impact on their yield. And looking at the particle size, all the soils were loamy sand. The soil nutrient status of the selected mango farms were marginal. Major nutrients like total nitrogen and exchangeable potassium were adequate in most of the farms. but the very low value of available phosphorus will negatively impact the fertility of the soil and ultimately the yield output for activity 2. We are able to determine the nutrient status for 12 mango farms, and more than 90% of these farms were deficient in phosphorus. We have two journals and one proceeding from that activity to this activity 3, determination of nutrient requirement for mango rootstock, and that is our objective, just as that for the citrus. Ogbomoso was used at 50 by 50, and as I said earlier, the same methods were used for this, and the 4, which is the 4th activity.
Please round up.
Yes, ma'am, I'm about to. These are the objectives. And the mango, they were planted at 8 by 8. We intend to impose the same treatments, but the treatments were yet to be applied due to substantial missing stand. So if you go ahead to apply the fertilizer, we will not get anything tangible to bring out of it, so we did not. We are still supplying the seedlings so that we have something reasonable to report. Thank you for your attention.
Now we are going to the second presenter. Please write down your question. After all of them have finished presenting, then you can ask the question. The second presenter is by Dr. O.O. Ibitoye, and she's going to present on the breeding for bacterial weeds and heat tolerance for tomato. Let's give her welcoming applause. 10 minutes to go.
Good morning, Executive Director, the IMC, guests, farmers, and colleagues. I am here to present the activities carried out under this year for the breeding for bacterial wilt and heat tolerance in tomato. These are the team members. We all know tomato to be the world's most important and consumed fruit vegetable. The importance of tomato cannot be overemphasized. And among the world leaders in production, we have Egypt in Africa, and but the production coming out of Egypt is coming out from an area of like 373 hectares, and the production is over 6 million metric tons, compared to Nigeria that is giving a very large acreage of land